What is up, Score fam? Today we are back with a video. We are going back over Syn Shenron. Went over in a Patreon post, did a post on YouTube, just a picture of the overall deck list itself. And today I am doing a full deck profile on what I believe after more testing after the Corona cast last night. Make sure you check out the Patreon if you already haven't. You can get the Corona cast first every single week. It is the best podcast you'll ever listen to related to the Dragon Ball Super card game. I'm biased, but I just feel that way. And today I'm going to be going over Syn Shenron after the testing, after playing more with the deck, and finding ways to maximize on the engine itself. But before we get started, let me give a shout out to my sponsor, Alec Pastrana, Bearded Collectibles, best shop on the planet. If you haven't gotten your sealed product through Alec Pastrana, make sure you get your pre-orders for Series 10 in now. Set is looking extremely powerful. You're going to need it to compete and keep up, and you're going to want it because the decks are so cool. Deck building in this environment is amazing. So let's dive in. Syn Shenron. Leader on the front side. When this card attacks, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add up to one Shadow Dragon card among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. At the end of your turn, choose up to one of your Shadow Dragon cards in your battle area and switch to active mode. So front side tells us two things. Number one, you got to play a lot of Shadow Dragons so you can make sure you're plussing off your leader swing. And number two, getting Shadow Dragons into play gives you an advantage because you get to untap them at the end of the turn. Already very strong. Awaken when your life is at 3 or less, or you have a yellow unison card with a specified cost of 4 in play. You may draw 2 cards and switch over to one of your energy to active mode. So this Awaken effect is actually very powerful. So yes, you have the drawback of potentially only awakening at 3 life or less, but the upside is that if you just have a unison with specified cost of 4, you get to awaken early, and then it's a draw 2, untap 1, which is much better than draw 1, untap 1, and is almost better than draw untap 2, if not better, just because you're drawing so many cards. But Syn Shenron really needs that to catch him up, because he's spending a lot of his energy in the early turns deploying battle cards, using cards from hand to defend himself, and then also having to maintain this specific board state to continue out throughout the game. So resources are always just being taxed from hand. So since the leader doesn't draw raw cards, it only draws Shadow Dragons with its leader skill, you're going to want to make sure that you have a powerful Awaken ability, which it does. So thank goodness. And then on the Awaken side, when this card attacks, draw a card. Then at the end of your turn, choose all of your Shadow Dragon cards in your battle area and switch them to active mode. So this is really relevant because all the main key Shadow Dragon cards are your blockers. So you have the 4-drop blocker and the 9-drop blocker. So being able to attack with them, restand them, is very powerful. And then activate main, 6 yellow, play up to 7 Shadow Dragon cards with different card names from your drop area. So this is important because it's different card names. So that means you can still play, you can play multiple copies of, like, multiple Syn Shenron cards. You just can't play the same exact one with the same exact name. So you can play Syn Shenron Shadow Dragon Leader. You can also play Syn Shenron Destruction Incarnate. You can also play your 1-star ball, 2-star ball. You can play both your Hey Shenrons, etc. Because that's all we have access to right now. But this ability is very powerful. Once you get your drop area filled with the material and you have different targets, being able to just tap 6 to just generate a board feels very good. Especially when you're playing a deck that leverages Cell Secret Rare like we're doing. You know, being able to just put things on the board for, you know, your 6 energy, being able to go into whatever you want. It's just a very powerful effect. So overall, the leader, as we know, is locked to playing the Shadow Dragon archetype to be successful, but I think between the Awakening at when you have a unison cost of 4 in play to basically get that additional effect, that early Awakening, plus the untapping all of your Shadow Dragons at the end of the turn and then tap 6 yellow to generate a board, is just very powerful. So leader's not generically good, more niche, but I think that the engine itself lends itself to being pretty powerful. So going into the deck list, the first thing we have to start off with is our Unison card, which is Mecha Kuburo Plotting Revival. This card is definitely the best Unison in the set. So has very important keyword on it, blocker. Blocker is important because you're auto. Once per turn, this card loses a marker due to an opponent's attack, choose up to one of your opponent's cards and switch it to rest mode. So this means that anytime your opponent swings, whether they swing leader at a battle card, you can trigger this blocker, block, and then you get to tap any one of your opponent's cards. So you can choose their Unison card, their leader card, a battle card, or their energy, or even you could tap a field spell if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but we're saying it's possible. That's how nuts this card is. It can tap anything. Then +1, activate main, draw a card, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, and that card can't be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can freeze any battle card that's in play already in rest mode. So whether if it's something innocuous, you just want to get the value, or if it's something that's very powerful, it's going to stay tapped as long as Mecha Kuburo is on the field. So again, most powerful Unison card. And then if for some reason you really want to take something your opponent has, or if you just want to deploy another Mecha Kuburo and you want to do something with your energy, you can just go -4 Activate means choose to one of your opponent's battle cards, gain control of it, and switch to active mode. So steal your opponent's best threat, take it. Now you have it, it's yours, you can try and kill them with it. It's really fun to steal someone's Rubrian 5-drop, it's really fun to steal someone's Cell Secret Rare. Overall, -4 is just very powerful. It's like almost like a true ultimate, so I'm glad to see that in this game. But like I said, a lot of times you're just going to be getting that incremental advantage as long as if you only have the one unison, you don't have an extra copy in your hand, a lot of times you're just going to be doing +1, activate blocker, +1, activate blocker. So in general, unison's messed up. So with that being said, with 4 Mecha Kibura, that makes you want to go into the route of playing Bergamo's Ferocious Roar. So auto, yellow 1, one of your opponent's battle cards is switched to rest mode by one of your opponent's cards is switched to rest mode by one of your skills, plays this card from your hand. And then if your leader card is yellow or Universe 9, when you play this card, choose up 2 of your opponent's battle cards and or energy ignoring barrier and switch them to rest mode. So it's almost that taxes archetype is like a microcosm between Mecha Kibura and Bergamo. You're just able to put your opponent in such a difficult bind where it's like if they try and do anything against you and they don't have the ability to counter your Bergamo, you're just going to be able to hard punish them if they ever swing with anything, because you're just going to go, okay, block with Mecha Kibura, I'll tap an energy, play a Bergamo, I'll tap 2 more energy, and we're good to go. And then of course, with that being said, we're leaning into Zamasu super combo to make that work. If your leader card is blue or yellow and you combo this card from your hand, choose one of your opponent's battle cards or leader cards and switch it to rest mode. Arguably the best super combo in the game. It's the perfect way to defend yourself. You're getting to pump yourself from 10 to 20 or 15 to 25. You're going to be getting to then rest another battle card. So you're able to stop your opponent from doing multiple attacks in a single turn just by playing super combo. So probably the best super combo in the game. For negates, and I'm going to do some explaining because you guys are going to be like, you're not playing Saiyan Instincts. You're not playing, this $100 card. Okay, let me tell you why. Your 2s are so glutted as it is, right? Your 2s, between your Raider's Warcry, between your Bergamo, and you have these effects that require multiple payments of energy, your -2-star ball and your 1-star ball, that having the energy for Saiyan Instincts doesn't come until later in the game. So that is the one thing that I noticed in the initial builds of the deck, is that you want to have a card draw source and a way to get your value and way to get your money. But the problem is that since you're so glutted on 2s and you have all these 1s that you have to play and all these 1 energy effects that you have to use just between playing a ball, tapping another yellow, getting to thing, tapping another yellow for the 9-drop. You just have all these increments of 1 that make 2s really difficult to play until the game starts going later. And then by that point, think about your turn progression. Turn 1, you want to play a ball. Turn 2, you want to, sack the ball and then also do an evolve target. Turn 3, you want to repeat the process or leave energy available for Zamasu into Bergamo to defend yourself. Then turn 4, you want to play Mecha Kibura. So all your turns are incredibly scripted in the deck itself. So you want to make sure that you're not, instead of leaning on 2s, you want to lean on 1s and 0s, with the exception being incredibly powerful cards. So the only 2s we're playing in the deck are 3 Grey Bardock Raider's Warcry and 3 Bergamo Ferocious Roar. These are the only thing that we're casting for 2 energy in the deck, and the reason why is because they're incredibly impactful. Raider's Warcry is going to be able to help you defend yourself or help you be aggressive, help you get unisons off the board. And Bergamo Ferocious Roar, you have to play it if you're playing something like Mecha Kibura and Zamasu super combo, and it's just so powerful when it comes to manipulating your opponent's energy and their resources. So that's the reason why. So instead of Saiyan Instincts, we're opting for 4 negates in the deck. We're opting for 4 not even a scratch. This card overperformed in testing because the negate, you usually are only going to have 1 energy available on your defensive turns unless the game goes really, really long. And just being able to just have that 1 energy for a negate, and then on your turn being able to use that extra energy left over to just draw an extra card has been really high value. Just always giving yourself the option, helping you find another card, another target, and just giving you something to do with your energy that doesn't cost 2 has felt really relevant. So I really like not even a scratch in the deck itself as opposed to Saiyan Instincts because of that. That being said, we are playing a lot of 1s, right? We're playing 2 SS3 Son Goku The Last Straw. We're playing 2 copies. You don't want to see it a ton of the time, but the card is effective when it needs to be. Having double strike to be able to take care of an early unison or a way to close out the game is just really impactful. And I think that these 1-drop double strike cards are just so powerful in this format. You just want to have access to some number of them in your main deck or your 65 in general. Just being able to get things off the board and be able to just pressure the opponent early and at the end of the game. You just want to have these efficient threats. So I really like Son Goku The Last Straw. 3 Basil Fatal Rampage. This card has been probably one of the things that makes going mono yellow and, putting all your energy into these tap effects and not wasting card slots so you can play cards like Basil. This has probably been the biggest upgrade from going down the mono yellow path. Yes, you can only have one copy of the card in play, so it has pseudo unique. And then when you play this card, draw a card, and then activate main once per turn. If your opponent has 5 or more cards in rest mode, this card gets plus 15,000 power and dual attack until the start of your next main phase. So you're going to be able to have a 19k on your turn. You're going to be able to pressure battle cards, leader cards, and unisons, which is very important in this format. And then also, it's going to be a 19k on the opposing player's turn. So it's going to be harder for them to kill unless they're investing some sort of card or hard removal into the card itself. So card has been overperforming in this format, and I think combined with Mechikabura, Bergamo, Zamasu, you're going to be able to get that five battle cards tapped fairly often. Then we're also playing our packages. So we're playing 3 negative energy 2-star ball. We're playing 3 Syn Shenron, the Poison Mancer, and 3 Syn Shenron, Venomous Mist. So the difference between blue yellow and mono yellow is that in mono yellow you're going to want to use more of your slots on some more copies of the Shadow Dragon. So we're leaning more into having the Syn Shenron engine as a secondary way to play the game because it helps us close out games, helps us be more aggressive, and getting in them in the drop area is important for when you get to that 6 energy, so you're getting the most value possible. So you're getting the Poison Mancer, you're getting Venomous Mist, you're getting the ball, you're getting your 9 drop, you're getting your 4 drop, you're getting the other ball, and you're able to just constantly have that stream of value, whereas before, if you try and play dual color, you're taking up a lot of slots and you're losing a lot of ability to play a lot of copies of these cards, so you're not necessarily always going to get them in the drop area. So we're playing 3-3-3. Syn Shenron, the Poison Mancer, is important because it helps you get back a 4 or less from your hand, so it can help you get back your Venomous Mist or your Shadow Dragon Leader, which Shadow Dragon Leader is probably one of the best cards just because it can punish your opponent for attacking. And so being able to recycle that is a very important effect. Same thing with Venomous Mist, being able to have this ability to combo it and then discard a Shadow Dragon to KO one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode with energy cost greater than their current energy. Like, having that utility is very important. So I really like leaning into a 3-3-3 line. And then for Syn Shenron, we're doing 3-4-4 because the Syn Shenron line is so important. So you're going to have 3 1-star balls because you only need 1 copy to get yourself started because, you're always going to be able to recycle them back with all of your Shadow Dragon effects. So we're playing 3 of that. We're playing 4 Syn Shenron Shadow Dragon Leader. You want to resolve this card as many times as possible against the opponent, unless you're wildly ahead. But once this card comes down, being able to choose their tap leader card, being able to choose a battle card, saying it can't attack, it's just very good. Playing against decks like Soul Striker and turning off their leader skill for the turn or turning off anybody from taking away 1 more combo step or 1 more swing at your unison is just very impactful. So Syn Shenron Shadow Dragon Leader, amazing card. And then if it dies, you get to draw a card and just get your 1-star ball back. And it has blocker, restands at the end of the turn. And then Syn Shenron Destruction Incarnate. Everyone knows how amazing this card is. Blocker, Revenge, evolves only for a yellow, and then auto when your opponent plays a battle card, you may choose that battle card ignoring Burying and get its skills for the turn. So it's a semi-bloodless, except it doesn't hit coming into play effects. And then auto, when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill or KO, draw 2 cards and play up to 1 1-star ball. So even if this dies, you're going to get advantage because you're going to draw 2 cards, then play the ball so you can just go up to the chain again. So very important. You have to lean into this card. It's the card that helps you get ahead or come back if you're ever really behind. And then we're playing 2 Swift Retaliation Cooler. Since we're playing mono yellow, we get the benefit of having enough card slots to be able to play a counter, and Cooler is amazing. Cooler combined with Cell Zeno is game winning. So, and oftentimes you're going to be able to play this card and get the secondary effect where you're drawing 2 cards instead of 1. So we're playing 2 Swift Retaliation Cooler, playing 3 Vegeta Prideful Transformation. I would play 4 if I could play an earlier unison, but since we're only playing Mechikabura, we're playing 3 copies. And this card is just right. Being able to trigger your successor 12 by getting this plus a Syn Shenron 9 drop at any time is very cool. And then, of course, just having the free counterplay make something come into play in rest mode, and having blocker, which is an important keyword, has proven to be very impactful as well. Our secret rare, as I mentioned, we're playing Cell Zeno right now until something else comes out. I think that this card is just great if you're playing yellow and you're playing all these battle cards that are just high costed and just give you the benefit of just existing. You can just play this bomb on turn 5 without having to spend energy, and you get a dual attack, quad strike, rip 3 cards from your opponent's hand. I think you're in a good spot. Then we're playing 1 Hidden Power E-Supreme Kai to help us close out games. In times where our opponent is vulnerable, we can kill them with a leader, we can kill them with just a normal battle card or a 30k Syn Shenron. just important to have this in the deck itself, just to be able to have that additional way to win the game. But anyway, this is my opinion. I think in testing so far, this has felt like the best version of Syn Shenron I've played to date. I think, going dual color route has its disadvantages. Playing blue for Bean, I love Sensu Bean so much, and it enables you to play more 2s. But the issue is that you just run out of important deck space unless you start going to more than 50 cards, which I don't think you want to in a deck like this, since you want to improve your consistency. But overall, this has felt the best to be able to kind of fit everything in the deck that I want to, and just being able to play a really powerful game. Again, hardest part about the deck is closing out games. You're kind of reliant on getting to sell Zeno on turn 5, or just bludgeoning your opponent to death with tapping 6 multiple turns in a row. But overall, I think it's a powerful deck. Definitely sits in that tier 1.5 range. I think Gotenks is definitely the tier 1 leader of the set. But this deck is very powerful and has a good shot in the metagame. It's really good at beating leader-based strategies. It's really strong against playing any sort of deck that is hard-based in removal, because you're just always going to be able to accrue that value. And then as long as you can keep opposing unisons off the board, you're going to be able to play around the free counterplays, which is very important for this deck. So overall, this deck has a lot of potential to shine, and I'm excited to see what Shadow Dragons come out in the future to make this even better. But overall, like I said, I think this is right now, without a defined format, without the remaining reveals, this is where I'd sit right now for my 50 cards if I were to play Syn Shenron in any sort of competitive event. But anyways, get the testing. The list is going to be posted. It's public on Shenron's Lair. I'll put the link in the description below. Make sure if you haven't gotten your pre-orders in, make sure you do through beardedcollectibles.com. He has the best prices on boxes, cases, everything you can want. He has the best customer service in the game, and I'm personally glad to see him being back in full force, making sure you guys get all your product. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Stay safe. # Scrub Fam is best fam. Okay, thanks. Bye!